Hey YouTube, what's up? And JT Sasuke here to bring you my last review for the night. Naruto chapter 651. Jumping right into it. Before I jump right into it, actually, um, my review for Naruto chapter 650 was extremely late, so I'm gonna post the link to that video down in the description. So just click on that, watch that, tell me what you think, comment, subscribe, all that. Thank you very much. Moving on to this week's review. We start off with Jugo. Jugo sits there and he looks at Susanoo. And he realizes that they're fusing. That's Naruto realizing that they're fusing. Naruto's like, the fuck? All of a sudden we see Sasuke and Sasuke just okay, so and this how Madara did it back when he fought Hashirama. Rather than there, I thought to myself, okay, so Sasuke has a pretty good at memory if he can remember what Hashirama told him while they're in the middle of fighting. So with that, I said with that fusion going on, we cut to Obito, and Obito is basically just trying to down talk them and break their egos. He tells them that it's no use no matter what you try to do. He tells them to look up to the sky, and we see a picture of the moon, and he says, what do you see through that hole? Apparently there's a giant, circular wall around, the wall all around in a circle, in a cylinder type form. He said, what do you see at the top of that hole? It's the moon. He said, it's the moonlit dreamland. The time has finally come. Now I'm thinking to myself, the Infinite Tsukiyomi hasn't been activated yet, so the time is not finally come. Shut up, Obito. But that's when we cut to Kakashi, and Kakashi holds his eye. And as he's holding his eye, he sees Sasuke and Naruto. Now, he sees Sasuke and Naruto, but it's like real gray and shady and faded, and there's a lot of blackness around it. And he hears Obito's voice in his head, and he's just like, Naruto, Sasuke, am I seeing what Obito's saying? I can hear a voice ringing in my head. Are we connected somehow? That's when Naruto and Sasuke, and they're standing right next to each other. So that's when Naruto didn't look at Sasuke, but that's when Naruto just like, alright, Sasuke, we're only gonna get one crack at this. So when we see an opening, we have to leap for it. Sasuke was like, agreed. Now that rather shows so much character development and maturity in Naruto. The fact that he took charge and told Sasuke what they were doing. And Sasuke was like, yeah, I mean that's what I'm gonna do anyways. So that right there really just makes me feel happy to call myself a fan of Naruto. Actually see Naruto be mature to the point where he can make those calls and actually follow through, as you'll see later on. So after he does that, we see a picture of the complete fusion of Susanoo and the Kyuubi, and it looks like a fucking demon. It looks like a demon, but it looks really awesome. Read the chapter, you'll see it. I might post that particular picture at the thumbnail if I can find it. Just throw it out there. But moving on, we look to the tails, and the tails are not completely covered. They're covered about most of the way. I say about 75%. Not even. I say about 85%. And then then going towards the tip of the tails, what you see is 9 different Rasengans forming. When you see the Rasengans, we cut over to the rookies. All the rookies basically realize that somehow Naruto is calling out to them for help. They all jump, and each one of them jumps inside Naruto's chakra tail. And as soon as they hit that chakra, they get a Naruto cloak, like Naruto's cloak that he has on. They get that. Now none of them look as badass as Naruto does, but they all look pretty badass. And one particular person named Kiba, as we all know him, Kiba sitting there looking like, oh, this Naruto's cloak in form of chakra. To that, yes, Kiba, that is from Naruto chakra. Thank you for pointing out the obvious. Now, what Naruto does is he says, I want you guys to take those Rasengans and break down that wall. Because Obito has a wall in front of him. Has like a black wall made out of like the Biju bomb thing that he uses. Now, right before this happens, Obito is just like, Obito has a sword in his hand. It's like, this sword was the sword of the Sage of Six Paths. The Sage of Six Paths essence is in this sword, and it looks like a DNA strand. He says that a double helix DNA strand. So he said that this sword had the Sage of Six Paths essence in it. He created the world with this sword. Now I'm going to destroy the world with this sword. All of a sudden we see the Nine Tails with a sword in his hand. And I'm instantly thinking to myself, okay, shit's about to get real. We got sword for sword action coming on here. So it might come to sword fighting blows, which would be really cool to see, you know, Naruto QB covered with Susanoo fighting with a sword against Obito with his giant, you know, Sage of Six Paths sword. That'd be pretty cool. So I like that. I like that a lot. And then what happens is we see all of the 9 rookies that jumped in the tails. We see all 9 of them jump up and use Rasengan at the same time. And by this point in time, these Rasengans are not regular Rasengans. These are giant Rasengans, Odama Rasengans. But of course, since Naruto is using Sage Mode, they're bigger than regular Odama Rasengan that we've seen him use against the fake Itachi. So they all hit the wall at once and break it. As soon as they break it, Naruto and Sasuke is just gone. They immediately move for the attack. Obito sees this and moves to counterattack. Now, Kakashi is sitting here and he's just like, Obito, you sit here and you say that there's nothing in your heart and that there's nothing Naruto can do. But Naruto has friends. And Naruto has friends, and people will call Naruto nothing but an idiot for most of his life. But for the fact that people want to lend that idiot a hand is what's going to make him succeed. All of a sudden, we see the 2 swords clash, and Sasuke's and Naruto's sword breaks Obito's, and it cuts him. When it cut him, I'm thinking to myself, shit just got real. Shit just got real. But I'm also thinking to myself, how in the hell did that sword break Obito's sword? That's what the Sage of Six Paths sword. The sword that created everything. How in the hell is that sword just for show? Like, seriously, Obito. This is why I feel like Obito shouldn't have been the Jinchuriki of the Ten Tails. Madara should have been the Jinchuriki of the Ten Tails, because Madara would have been the greatest villain of all time if he was the Jinchuriki of the Ten Tails. Because Madara has all his powers, and then he would have the Ten Tail powers, making him God. I think he would be more powerful than Sage of Six Paths, in my opinion, or at least on his level. I don't think anybody would be more powerful than Sage of Six Paths now that I think about it. So I take that last statement back. But he would be just as powerful with all his new powers plus his old powers than Ten Tails, even though it's incomplete in 1. That's a powerful ass person. God. So that's my feeling on that. But we get to see Obito get cut, and then, if I'm correct, the chapter ends there. So it's a pretty, I'm not going to say battle oriented, it was more battle oriented toward the end, but it was a good chapter. But that's my review for this week. Comment, rate, subscribe. Please subscribe, and I will see you guys next week.